Forensics Crime Scene Detective is a new crime scene game where you collect evidence, analyze it in a lab, and help solve cases. And after finishing a few investigations, I can say the game gets a lot right. The controls are smooth, the tools feel good to use, and the whole idea has a lot of potential. But the more I played it and completed more investigations, my impression started to change, and I began to see the game in a different way. So in this video, I want to show you everything I loved and hated about Forensics Crime Scene Detective, because the best part of this game also made its biggest problem stand out. At its core, forensics puts you in the role of the person who handles the evidence. You are not chasing suspects or questioning witnesses. Your job is to search the crime scene, collect anything useful, and bring it back to the lab to find out what it tells you. Every case starts at a file cabinet. You choose a mission, travel to the crime scene, and find all of your tools waiting for you when you arrive. From there, you search for evidence, fingerprints, blood samples, bullets, and electronics. Once you collect everything you can find, you can take it back to the lab, test it, and look for matches. The tutorial does a good job teaching you how each type of evidence works because it lets you handle every step yourself. And this is where the game made a strong first impression on me. The controls were easy to learn, moving around felt natural, and I never really had a problem picking up evidence, placing tools down, or getting items to work. The tools were simple enough to understand, but detailed enough to make the work feel real. By the time I finished the tutorial, I thought the game had a lot of potential. Once I started taking on full investigations, each mission began with me arriving at a new crime scene and looking over the area. From there, I would grab the tools I needed and start searching the room for anything that could help with the investigation. Once I finished searching the scene, I took everything back to the lab, tested the evidence, looked for matches, and sent out my final results. Okay, so it's digital device, so we're gonna heat it up. Gonna heat up the chip until it unsticks and make sure that it doesn't get too hot because then you break it. Let's chill a little bit. Keep going. Chill a little bit. Get the corner up here. Make sure it doesn't get too hot. It's getting too hot. It's getting too hot. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's getting too hot. It's getting too hot. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. Now you press 2 for the vacuum pipette. Take it and drop it into the case, and then we're gonna exit, and then we're gonna collect the chip, and then we're gonna put it into the computer to decrypt. Select the password, optional. Nope, skip. Start decrypting, and now we wait. Okay, now that it's done, export the results. Grab the file. We have to email them, right? Send email, digital, send evidence. Then we wait at our inbox. Okay, new mail. You have successfully analyzed the digital evidence found at the crime scene. Okay. At this point, I was still enjoying the game, but the more cases I completed, the more each new mission started to feel very similar. That feeling came from how little the investigations changed. Even as I moved from one mission to the next, the work I was doing stayed mostly the same. In the investigations I played, the game kept asking me to find the same 4 main types of evidence. The game also did not ask me to examine other details around the scene like footprints, tool marks, broken glass, or the way objects were left behind. Clues like these could have made each scene feel more like a puzzle instead of only a search for 4 set types of evidence. That's when I realized the tools were not the problem. They were actually the best part of the game. But because those tools worked so well, it became easier to see what was missing. The investigations did not give me enough new ways to use them or enough reasons to think about what happened. So the game's strongest part also helped reveal its biggest weakness. There was not enough depth around those tools. And after finishing each investigation, I started to notice something else was missing, and it had nothing to do with the evidence. In other games, you can often see future rewards through a shop, journal, or upgrade screen. You may need to reach a certain level, earn money, or complete a set number of missions. Even when those rewards are far away, you still know what you are working towards. And that is what was missing, a clear reason to keep moving forward. Forensics never showed me that same kind of progress. I continued using the same tools from the tutorial, and the game did not show me any new equipment or upgrades that I could earn later. At the end of each investigation, my main reward was a score out of 100. Finding every piece of evidence and testing it correctly could raise that score. That gave me a reason to replay a mission, but there was no money, player level, new equipment, or a clear reward to work towards. And after I completed every mission the game had shown me, I was left wondering what I was supposed to do next. At one point, no new investigations were showing up, and honestly I wasn't sure why. Maybe I had missed a requirement, maybe my scores were not high enough, or maybe I had simply reached the end of the missions currently available. To test it, I went back and replayed some of my lowest scoring investigations. I found evidence I had missed, improved my scores, and completed them again. But nothing seemed to change. There is a chance I was doing something wrong, and I am completely open to that. The problem is that the game never told me what I was missing. A simple message explaining what I still needed to do, or even telling me that I had reached the end, would have made the next step much clearer. When I first started playing, I did not mind that the game began slowly. Most games do. I expected that as I completed more investigations, the cases would slowly grow. Maybe new tools would appear, more types of evidence would be introduced, or the crime scenes would become larger and more difficult. But based on the investigations I played, that progression never really came. The pace stayed mostly the same, and what I learned during the tutorial was still most of what I was doing several missions later. Maybe later investigations do introduce bigger cases or new mechanics. I cannot say for sure because no more missions appeared for me. But from what I was able to play, the game could benefit from a clearer progression system that gives players something to work towards. That could include new tools, equipment upgrades, player ranks, or rewards for earning higher scores. More types of evidence could also make each investigation feel different. Instead of always searching for the same 4 things, later cases could introduce new clues and new ways to examine the crime scene. The investigations could also give players more decisions to make. Right now, every tool is already waiting at the scene, but the game could show you the case description first and make you choose which tools to bring. Having to leave some tools behind would make you think about the case before entering the scene. Choosing the right equipment could help you, while choosing the wrong equipment could make the investigation more difficult. Changes like these could give the game more variety, make the cases feel deeper, and give players a stronger reason to keep moving forward. Overall, Forensics made a strong first impression on me. The controls are smooth, the game looks good, and collecting and testing evidence is easily the best part of the experience. But after completing several investigations, the limited variety and lack of progression made the game feel much simpler than I expected. The tools are already strong. The problem is that the investigations do not give you enough new ways to use them. After a while, the cases start to feel similar and there is not much to work towards. Based on what I've played, I think the game has a strong foundation, but it still needs more depth, variety, and a clearer sense of progress. There is already something satisfying about entering a crime scene, collecting evidence, and testing everything in the lab. I just wanted the investigations to grow and give those mechanics more room to develop. With more evidence types, deeper cases, and a stronger progression system, Forensics could become a much stronger experience. But for now, that is everything I loved and hated about Forensics Crime Scene Detective. Thanks for watching.